Hey guys, welcome to the Generosity Forum. My name is Andrew Donovan. This is episode 30, and today we're going to talk about a placeholder strategy. So I apologize for my disheveled look and being out in the open. I got to the gym a little bit late, but it's 11 o'clock and we needed to start our Facebook Live. So here we are, and we'll make this work because things just work out. So this is a topic that was requested actually just last week by, hi Leslie, hey Casa. Someone just last week on the forum here asked for more information about placeholders, and she asked in a comment on one of the videos, and you can't just write a comment about how the placeholder strategy works. Hey Alana, it takes we have to have a whole discussion about it. So that's why I thought let's dedicate an entire Facebook Live today, and I want to teach you exactly what you need to know to make a placeholder strategy work. So if you're brand new, you may not have heard about this, but it's actually something that you should probably learn early on in your business, because you use a placeholder strategy when you don't have your perfect builder lineup, but you want to keep building and you need to place people somewhere. So this is going to be a good one. Those of you guys that are hopping on live, who here has tried a placeholder strategy before? Just type yes or no in the comments. I just want to see what your guys' experience is. And I expect that this will probably be a Facebook Live that we'll have a lot of shares with, because this is education that a lot of people don't have access to, but we should all be aware of how to work this. So Casa says yes, she's tried a placeholder strategy. Curtis says good morning from Eagle River, Alaska. Ooh, sounds like a cool place. Casa, was your placeholder strategy successful? So, all right, let me give a little bit of context to when you would use a placeholder strategy and why. So anytime you don't have the perfect builder lineup, like I just said, that's when a placeholder strategy is going to be useful. Because let's say, for example, that you're a brand new builder in Doterra and you host your first few classes, you've got 5 or 10 enrollments to place. Well, you don't want to place those all on your front line because that's a disaster, right? But you also need to have a structure in your team under builders, but you may not have your builders yet. So what do? Enter in the placeholder strategy. So you use the placeholder strategy when you need to place people strategically before you have the perfect builder lineup. Now, the placeholder strategy becomes a little bit difficult because you have to do an account transfer to transfer your placeholder out. I'll get to that later on. Okay, I'm going to tell you the pitfalls of of placeholder strategies. I'm going to tell you how to solve them and avoid a lot of heartache too, and avoid a lot of some unhealthy expectations that you might develop with your placeholders. So we'll go over all of that stuff today. Curtis says not a clue of the placeholder strategy. Well, you're in the right spot then. Alana says I tell all my new builders to start with placeholders. Super cool. I love that. Okay. And Robin says kind of. It's hard because I have to build it all. Yeah. So when we're going to talk about the two casts, thanks for bringing that up. Okay. So what a placeholder is, it's a placeholder is a close family member or friend, someone you trust implicitly that holds a spot on your team. Okay. And I say the word implicitly because this is literally somebody that has legal rights to whatever you put underneath them. So it's got to be someone you trust a lot. So if I needed to start a new leg or start my Doterra team to begin with, period, and I didn't have a builder for that leg where I'm wanting to grow, then I would put a placeholder. Like I might use my grandma or an aunt or a sibling, someone that you know is basically never going to build Doterra with you. They might be a happy customer, but they're not going to build a business. So like I know that my grandma is never going to build a Doterra business. I'm certain of that. So she might make a great placeholder for me because I know that when I come back to her later on, in a few months down the road, and I say, okay, I actually have a real builder that's ready to transfer into that spot. I know she's going to sign the form. She's not going to hold it hostage and say, no, I like collecting a paycheck. I'm going to stay here. And the reason why you have to have that high level of trust is because legally, my grandma could hold on to that spot if she wanted to. It's hers legally. It's not mine. I don't control it. Do you get what I'm saying here? Okay, so here's how the placeholder strategy works exactly. The way that, first of all, you know when to use it. You want to build a leg or you need to build your team and place personal enrollment somewhere, but you don't have a real committed and capable builder to put under, okay? And let me actually should backpedal here and restate those words: committed and capable. If you're not familiar with this is Elise Shedevy lingo. I go into this in detail in 7 Steps to Residual Income, and those of you that are in that course, you want to watch those videos really carefully, because you only want to place your enrollments in strategic places. When people are like, oh, I'm trying to build my power of 3, so they keep putting people on the front line over and over and over again, that's how you end up with a front line of 15 people. And later on down the road, you're going to look at the volume on your front line and realize, wow, if I had stacked that more strategically, I could be premier now. And that's super heartbreaking. So that's why you like this placeholder strategy, you guys. So the way that you find a placeholder is, first, you go to someone that you trust implicitly, like I said, and then basically you just keep it really simple. So like what I would say is, hey, Grandma, so you know I'm building a business with Doterra right now, and I have a kind of a funny favor. So I need to place my people that I'm enrolling, my customers, in a specific structure on my team, but I don't have any business partners to place them under yet. Would you let me enroll you just as a placeholder on my team? You don't have to do anything. It doesn't cost you any money. I basically just have your name there holding a spot until I find a real business partner that I can replace you with. Does that make sense? And you guys, I've never had anyone have a problem with this. I've used lots of placeholders in my 5 years in Doterra, and everyone's always said yes. And they're people like what I just said, like a close family member, or I've even used friends actually. In fact, when we went diamond, I actually enrolled 11 friends that all enrolled just as favors for me because I wanted to place all of the volume strategically so that I could maximize the fast start bonuses too when we went diamond. And those people were all really, really gracious. They were all friends that I trusted implicitly. So 11's pretty dramatic. You're probably going to do like 1, maybe 2. But that's the conversation that I had with him. I called him up and I said just what I said. I need to place my orders and my customers in a specific order on my team, and I don't have the business partner right there to place them under. Would you let me sign you up just as a spot holder, and it's just your name there holding a spot temporarily? And they're all like, I'm game. They were great with it. And then actually a few of them ended up building Doterra with me. So it was kind of cool. So, okay, Casa says, do you just buy that LRP every month? So the correct answer is no. You don't and actually with a placeholder, you don't have to place an LRP order under that account. So let's say that I just started a Doterra business and I'm gonna have a few ranks down the road in mind as a beginning, which is very smart, right? I'm gonna start planning for Premier right from the start. So you know that what I teach is after you have your first couple of customer enrollments, then you want to enroll a couple of builders because you're structuring for Premier down the road, right? While simultaneously structuring for Power of 3. So if I found, maybe in this example, I find one committed and capable builder right out of the gate, I put them on my front line, but I don't find the second one right out of the gate. I know they're coming, but they're not here just yet. That's where I find a placeholder and put them on my front line. And then I continue hosting classes, doing one-on-ones, doing personal enrolling activities, and I funnel my personal enrollments under that placeholder so that I'm still structuring for Premier down the road and structuring for my Power 3 bonus. Does that make sense? Now, Cass is wondering, do you just buy that LRP every month? So in this case, no LRP order has to go through on that account until I need to go Premier. Because when I want to go Premier, I have to have 2 qualified executives that I have enrollship over, right? And someone only qualifies for rank if they're placing their own LRP order. So legally, it's not okay for you to place an order and make someone else's rank qualify so that you can rank advanced. That's actually against Doterra's policy. So what you do in that case is you might find some creative incentive. Like if it were my grandma, you guys, this is what I would do. If it were my grandma, I would say, Grandma, I'm gonna give you $100, order $100 of Deep Blue for your arthritis. Okay, I just said a whole bunch of non-compliant stuff, but you get it. That's what I would probably do in this case. If it meant me going silver or hitting a rank, I would totally do that. And then my grandma wins because she gets Deep Blue Reb, right? Or if I'm smarter, I would go to my grandma and I'd say, hey, would you come to my Doterra class? I know you've been dealing with some joint pain, and I think that you might find a really good solution here. And I'd bring my grandma to my class, teach her an amazing solution for her joints, and then I'd let her order her own 100 PV LRP order under that placeholder spot. Okay, so there you go, Casa. Some solutions for the LRP. You don't need the LRP to go through until you need that spot to rank advanced, okay? Now, once you have the placeholder there, don't just leave them there. Your job is to find a qualified builder to replace them as quickly as possible. So before we get into that, I just want to make sure that you don't fall into the trap of unhealthy expectations. Let's say that your placeholder starts placing an order and consequently they start collecting a paycheck. You need to make sure they know from the beginning that they're giving up that spot. They're just a placeholder. Again, that's why you have to have someone that you trust implicitly. Do you see what could happen here? Like, let's say that you enroll a friend that you think you trust, okay, and they're your placeholder, and they start ordering LRP, and they start getting checks every month, and they get a $75 check, and then a $100 check, And then you come back to them later and say, okay, I found my builder. It's time to sign the form. I'm going to replace you. And they say, no, I like collecting this $100 paycheck. If they said that, there is nothing whatsoever that you could do about it. Okay, that's why you have to have that high level of trust. Back in the day, I even made an account transfer agreement, like a placeholder agreement up front. And basically I had people sign a form that said that that I can transfer them out at any time I want. So I took that to Doterra's lawyers and they said, you can have people sign that, but we won't back it up if it ever comes back to us. Because legally, if your grandma's in that spot, it's your grandma's spot legally. Same with the friend, okay? So high level of trust. And as long as you communicate very clearly from the beginning, you let them know this is temporary and I am going to replace you. Do we have an agreement? And they say yes, you're good to go, okay? So you don't, you just don't want any loose ends that could come back in the end and hurt you. So, all right, next thing, how do you get rid of the placeholder? Well, once you find that committed and capable builder, then it's just a matter of signing what's called an account transfer form. It's a one-page document, super easy. Just Google Doterra account transfer form and it'll pop right up. And basically you have the placeholder sign 2 spots, and then you have your new person, your new builder, sign the same form. Okay, so and that's it. You just write their name, you write in the date, the wellness advocate number of the placeholder, and then the new builder signs it as well. Now, how you submit that to Doterra is very important. So technically speaking, the placeholder is supposed to email it to Doterra themselves. The reason for this, it's a security reason. They've had in the past people abuse account transfers where like maybe you have someone on your team that you don't want there, but it's their spot legitimately, and you're like, I'm just gonna boot them out. So you fill out an account transfer form and send it to Doterra. Yeah, you can't do that. So gotta follow the rules here and operate legally. So technically speaking, your placeholder, your grandma or whoever, should email the form into Doterra themselves, and that way Doterra sees this is consensual. It's not you, the wellness advocate, pulling some sneaky move. Okay. And this is, this stuff, these strategies, Doterra totally approves of them. They love them. We just have to do it legally and ethically, which is why I'm telling you how this works. So Curtis says, this is a fabulous idea. Yeah, it really is, because, one of the biggest excuses that I hear people say is, I don't have my builders. That's why I'm not growing yet. Bullshit. You can grow yourself. And the placeholder strategy is a way to get rid of that little excuse that says, I can't grow because I don't have builders yet. You guys, I have spots on my team where I don't have builders yet, but I still need those legs to grow for my own rank, right? So who's in charge of enrolling and putting people on those legs? I am. It's my business. I'm the only person responsible for the growth of my business. Now, when I have real committed and capable builders, they're responsible for growing their own businesses, right? But in the interim, I'm the only one that's solely responsible for my entire organization, for my own rank, right? Hey, Mary, good to see you. Okay, Denise says, where do you get that form? Denise, you Google Doterra account transfer form, and it'll pop right up. That's it. So, you guys, you should ask more questions while you've got me on the Facebook Live here, because we've got a good crowd, and this is a topic where people get just a little bit caught up sometimes. So I'd love to answer your questions in real time. So go ahead and type them in the comments here. Thumbs up, so you're liking this. Do you see some possibility here with this strategy? Okay, Jennifer says, be stronger than your excuses, right? Exactly, yeah. Robin says, could you choose someone that is already on LRP? No, you would not do that, Robin. And the reason why is because let's say that that's actually a totally different strategy. That's called the sharer strategy. And we should probably do a separate Facebook Live on that, Robin. So what Robin's describing is, let's say you've got someone on your front line, a customer who's already on LRP. Now, that's not going to be a placeholder because you don't want to replace that customer later on. They want to keep their account. That's why they're on LRP. They want to keep their membership. The placeholder strategy works when you can sign someone up that doesn't care if they have a Doterra membership or not. So like my grandma, she's my grandma. When we're really smart, we get our grandmas their own accounts. My grandma actually has her own account, but she usually just orders from me or my mom anyway. So she says, can you get me DDR Prime? Can you get me Deep Blue? So like my grandma's a great person for a placeholder because she doesn't care if she has her own membership. Robin, you wouldn't want to start enrolling people under your customer because then when you want to go put a real builder in your customer spot, your customer gets booted out. Now, technically, Doterra's changed their policy, so she could actually request to keep her customer account, so you've got a little bit of flexibility there. Should I repeat that just in case you missed it? Because account transfers are a little bit complicated. So Robin's question was, if I have a customer on my front line who's on LRP, would I do this strategy with them? Say, hey, would you be my placeholder until I find a real builder? And you start enrolling people under that customer. As the rules go right now, and they could change at any moment if Doterra feels like it, right now, you could do that, Robin, and then when you find a real builder, you could have your customer sign an account transfer form, transfer the real builder into that customer spot, and your customer, ordinarily, their account would get terminated, but Doterra now allows that person to send an email in saying, hey, I would like to keep my spot and my rewards, points, and my percentage and all that, and Doterra would let them remain as a customer. A little bit risky of a strategy because that could change at any moment. And then if that changed, then your customer's like, what the heck, Robin? I just lost all of my rewards that I've been building up. So I wouldn't do that, okay? A different strategy that you could do is called the share strategy. And that's where you go to that same customer and you say basically, hey, and we actually just did this in one spot on my team and it works fabulously if you have the right person. You say, hey, I need to put my enrollments, my other customers I'm signing up under someone on my team. I know you're not looking to build a business right now, but you're ordering LRP. If you'd be willing to agree to place an order every month, then I would put my customers under you and you'd actually get a kickback. You'd start getting little checks that would help pay for your own order that you're placing anyway. Anyway, not for this conversation, that's a different Facebook Live. So let me go back to your questions here. Casa says, so when you approach someone, will that be a builder? When you approach someone that will be a builder, how do you approach them? Do you entice them with a team that's already built? Ooh, okay, that's one of the things we needed to talk about. So thank you, Casa, for bringing that up. So account transfers are really tricky because they frequently don't work. So I've actually done what you're describing, Casa, before with epic failure, and I'd like you to avoid this pain. So you go to someone that you think would be good and you say, hey, I want you to build Doterra with me, and I've already got a team that I've been building, and I'll transfer you into that spot so you'll be getting money right out of the gate, and it'll just be a good head start. What that usually does is, in most cases, it creates entitlement. And they start, in fact, you guys, I just had someone 2 weeks ago say, I'm not making any money in this business. And it was someone that had been transferred into an existing spot. They haven't enrolled a single person themselves, and they feel entitled to a paycheck because they were account transferred into an existing position. And, I look at that, I'm like, what the fuck? You don't get entitlement anywhere. You're responsible for your own business. But this person, they're not under that understanding. So you've got to be so careful here, Casa. Basically, the way that I position it is I tell them they're being transferred into an existing spot. I tell them if they ever decide Doterra's not for them, communicate totally openly with me. And it's okay if they ever change their mind, but I need to know it because this isn't a hobby for me. It's a legitimate business. This is my income. And so if they ever change their mind, totally fine. I love them. We'll stay friends. I just need to know up front so I can transfer them out and put someone else in that spot. Now, I also tell them up front that anything that's underneath them is a total bonus. Any of that volume, any of the money that comes in right out of the gate, like I'll tell them, yeah, you're going to be getting, in fact, I had a buddy, one of my close friends, I actually transferred into one of my qualifier positions recently because I had a placeholder in one of my silver legs. It was a silver leg that I built totally myself. And this buddy, it was funny. He put himself on LRP. He started ordering Melissa as a supplement every month. He was totally gung-ho, and he told me, I have, I think it was like 5 people that want to order Doterra. What do I do? And I'm like, should I put you in an important spot on my team? Anyway, he knew right out of the gate that he was going to be getting $100 a month if he placed a qualified order. And I also made it very clear that that's just a bonus. Growing his income to hundreds of dollars a month, to thousands of dollars a month, that's up to him because he identified as a committed and capable builder. So does that make sense, Casa? So yeah, entice him with the team that's already, I don't know. I would not use it as an enticing thing. You guys, the only people that I want to put in existing positions are people that would build anyway. And the mistake that I made in the past is I put people in positions that only said yes to building because they had a head start, they had a jump start, which is a mistake. That's not a real builder, you guys. The real builders are ones that would build regardless. And that's why you can trust them with that sacred space in your team where you're putting them in that spot where they already have a team underneath them. Okay, so let's see what's next. Curtis says, I love that Doterra implemented the wellness customer option. I know, it's fantastic. Okay, Robin says, makes sense. Michael, hello, good to see you. Shelly says, so the person that you transfer in will not be considered a new enrollment. So they wouldn't qualify for, say, some of the enrollment bonuses that Doterra offers. Okay, Shelly, when you do an account transfer, there's only two kinds of people that can be transferred into an existing spot. A brand new person who's not signed up at all, or a wholesale customer after 90 days, okay? So the brand new person that's not signed up at all, they totally qualify for all the bonuses. You know, like they're not signed up yet in Doterra, and they could enroll with the Natural Solutions Kit, or they could, you know, whatever the incentive is of the month that they're signing up with. Yeah, they totally qualify because they're brand new. The second option is a wholesale customer who's already been enrolled for 90 days, and you upgrade them to a wellness advocate. Now, they don't qualify for any bonuses because they're already signed up. Does that make sense, Shelly? Okay. Leslie says, seriously, I love you. Oh, you're referring to my open language. And Sabine says, cool, hi from Austria. Ooh, super cool. Hi, Sabine. Good to have someone from Europe on the Facebook Live. Okay, so you guys, do we have it covered? Any other questions? Those of you that watched the recording, post your questions in the comments. I'll hop on later today and answer any other questions you have. Aaron says this is super helpful. I'm glad. So just to recap, those of you guys that want, because you know, we call this a strategy. Strategy always has form and steps that you go through. So strategy number one is know when to use a placeholder. You use a placeholder when you need to continue building on a certain spot in your team, but you don't have the perfect builder yet. So step number two is finding the perfect placeholder, someone you trust implicitly, that's not going to hold your team hostage, and that you know will give up the spot when the time comes, okay? You qualify them as a placeholder by keeping it really simple. I've seen people make it awkward, and if you make it seem like a big deal, your placeholder is going to make it seem like a big deal. So if I go to my grandma and say, Grandma, I need you to sign up as a placeholder on my team, and I'm going to have I just need your social. It's going to be on file, but don't worry, they have a secure system. The credit bureaus all respect Doterra, and blah, blah, you know, and that credit leak that happened in Doterra last 2 years ago, they've got that undercover, so your information is going to be safe. Like, my grandma's going to be like, no thanks, right? You got to keep it simple. All right, and you just say, it's temporary, it's just your name holding a spot on my team until I find my next real business partner, and then they'll take the spot. Thanks, Grandma, love you. Okay, that's number two. Step number three is you keep building, and you look for the committed and capable builder to put in that spot. Okay, you want to get him in there as quickly as possible. Okay, you know that they're the right person if they're committed and capable, and if they would build regardless of having an existing team. You guys, you must trust me on this. Do not put someone that only wants to build because they have a head start. They're starting the business with a sense of entitlement, and it is not going to work out, okay? Put that person on your fourth level where they may or may not blossom, and if they blossom, poof, it's a surprise bonus, okay? All right, and then the fourth thing is actually doing the account transfer when you have the real person. Google Doterra account transfer form, have them sign it, your placeholder needs to email it in, and that's it, okay? Let's see, Cindy says, it's great information, really clear explanations. Good, I'm glad you think so. Mojita says, do you find that putting people in placeholder positions creates any resentment from people below them because all of a sudden this random person has come on? No, Mojita, it doesn't create resentment if you position things well. And you know, in many cases, you guys might have a placeholder that just has customers underneath them. The customers don't care. They're just ordering product, you know. That would be like Amazon changing their vice president and you feeling resentful because you're a Prime customer and now there's a new upline in Amazon, aka the new VP. You don't care. You're just a customer. If there's a builder or builders under the spot, you just position it well. So what I've done in the past is I go to my builders and I say, I've got some really exciting news. So I've been building this team myself, and I had at the top of it a placeholder because I hadn't found just the perfect leader yet, and I knew someone was coming. I found this person that you're going to love working with. I'm still going to be here as one of your team leaders, and you're going to have even more resources because Leslie is going to be transferred into this spot, and she's so good because she's good at this, this, and this, and she's really excited to collaborate and continue growing the team together too. So I just position it and tell them why there's a lot of value there. Okay, Aaron says, thank you for being honest about the behind-the-scenes legalities in Doterra. You're welcome, Aaron. And Shelly says, thank you, I appreciate you helping me understand that better. Good, you're welcome, Shelly. All right, you guys, well, let's sign off for now. I'm gonna go finish working my, it's chest day today, and thanks for being patient with this unprofessional scene here, but I think we made it work, right? So, sweet. All right, good luck with your placeholders, and I'll hop on here and answer any other questions later on. And by the way, those of you guys that are brand new, welcome to the Generosity Forum. This is where we like to share the best Doterra strategies generously. We've got all kinds of guest speakers. If you missed that opening video at the top of the page here on the Generosity Forum, go watch it. It's like short, but I ask you for 3 little favors when you're here on the Generosity Forum. So I'd love to see your comments in that video too. And Sarah says, does a placeholder need to do 100 PV? Sarah, we actually talked about that earlier in the Facebook Live, so can you rewind? The short answer is only if you need the spot to rank advance. So if you're going for silver and it's one of your 3 elites, then yes. But if it's not a rank advancing spot yet, then you don't need them to do a 100 PV LRP order. Also, if it's part of your power of 3 structure, then yes, you do need a 100 PV LRP order. So it just depends on if you need it for the power of 3 bonus or for the rank. All right, much love to you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.